Hey, peeps. Happy Thanksgiving. Dr. T-Bone here. And we're still working on the strat. Out here you see it underneath, that's my little test board. I had a piece of wood with some good grain in it. And you can see like all the different shades, like with blue uh, dye. It's kind of almost purplish. It wasn't very blue. It was kind of black. And the red dye, cherry red. And then it kind of gets purpley. Here's with the poly, bringing out all the purpley in the color. And then that was a couple of extra colors. But anyway, I got some wood to test on. And here's the strat. The strat is back. All right, so we're going stripe colors on the neck. This is a 96 Strat American. Yeah, I believe it was out of Corona. Or Fullerton, I don't know. But check it out. Fret numero uno. And I'm a little mad there's like some stain got splashed on the headstock, whatever. You see the little stain tripping me out. No big deal. Okay. Fret number 1, original. You can see the grain coming through. You can see the stain. It's aged. I mean, it's a good 20, almost 30 years old. And then you can see, wow, you can see really good. A little scrape in there by the fret. But anyway, that first fret was in pretty good shape. After seeing like Rhett Shull and his luthier talking about rounded fretboards, I started rounding the fretboard, right? And I got a little crazy. Like so on this one, you can see it's rounded. Right, and the frets I had to refinish because it was chipping and popping. I kind of rounded it, and then I overdid it. All right, so anyway, fret number 2, you can see, is down to the wood. What's protecting the wood? Boiled linseed oil. Now you can see also there's some remnants because I had refinished it like the one below it, fret number 3. Now you can see I pulled up the dye, and it wasn't really dye. It was this poly, not really poly, but let me see, kind of an oil-based Verathane premium wood stain. Spring oak. So with each coat it gets darker. I was able to match the tone, but here I got a little bit anxious, and after the second coat I just put the third coat on real thick to see what happened, and it kind of pulled up, giving me kind of a faux flamed maple effect, and I kind of liked it. Then I realized with the thick stain maybe it doesn't cure as well. And then I put a few layers of a water-based poly, same company. And I got it pretty good. And then we compounded it and buffed it up to a high gloss. Pretty good. Wearing pretty good, right? It did have some string juice and finger juice. I was playing on it a little. It seemed to get dirty pretty fast. I don't know, maybe I had dirty hands or I was playing a lot, but I thought I was going to have to take it off. I still might. We come back down, the next fret you can see is a little rounded. And then we wore off a little bit so you could see the change. And a little bit of wear in the wood. Right, that's how they all kind of were. And the dots, well, yeah, need some cleaning. We're getting in there pretty close. The dots were looking delaminated, right? So original looking pretty good. The ones I redid, not so great. The faux flame maple, not all that thrilled with it. Doesn't look horrible, looks pretty good, especially from a distance. And then the color was kind of matching, because at first they had these white stripes, and I wasn't feeling it. But I think now, instead of the polyurethane is kind of sticky. Right, so if I'm running my fingers along the original, I think it was, oh God, what do you call it? Shellac or varnish or, you know, you got to say these words exactly right, because every one of them makes a difference, right? And, you know, honestly, when I didn't have the strings on, and now I buffed it. So the originals are pretty slick when you put some wax on them, buff it out, right? This I put boiled linseed oil, was the slickest before I buffed it. I didn't buff on this one, but Once I buffed it, they're really pretty close. They've both been sanded down to 5,000. This one's pretty slick too, but honestly, as I rub my finger across it, it gets stuck. It's more sticky. The wood is the best. I think that's why people go with boiled linseed oil. But it might be weird coming out of the factory. I feel kind of naked with it too, like it's not too protected. Maybe the strings are really going to dig in. That's what was happening, and wearing out the wood a little, which is kind of okay. People like that relic look. It looks played, right? And then maybe it even plays better. It feels better. But as we come down, you can see I didn't redo some of them, most of them. These I had to redo, 11th and 12th fret. Look what I did. I over rounded, and we had no edge. So I had to like wood putty. Look at the 12th fret. What a horror show with the wood putty. I mean, it doesn't look that bad. It almost looks relic. It's kind of dark. You can see it. You can see the wood putty, but I tell you what, it was playing a little funny. I thought I destroyed the neck, and we probably could save it. When we do the refret, pull it off, it'll look a lot better. We'll get some of that putty off of there. But I was, making more of a radius, kind of. I was filing down. You can see here, is it the 17th, 12th, 13th, 14th, 15th fret. You see the bottom, I had to wood putty. And then we refinished. So not looking so good. I'm thinking we'll pull the frets. The frets are kind of worn. They're still playing good. They still play good in spite of my horrible fret job. I don't have a crowning file. So we're going to get a crowning file. Look what I did to the first fret. Look how flat it is. But in order to get those grooves out that I had worn in, and they're still a little groovy, I had to sand pretty good. So we lost a lot of fret space, but I don't think I overdid it. You can see there's still a couple little grooves in there, not perfect, but we're going to get a crowning file. I think I'll try it myself before we go pull it. I'd like to put my own frets in, never did it. You can get one of those little fret machines. I don't think it's hard to get a roll of frets, but then matching your radius, and I don't even know why you would have to pre-bend it so much. I mean, I'm thinking it'll bend and conform to the wood as you put it in. If you're not doing a lot of fret jobs, you probably don't need like a fret wire bender. But I mean, I don't know. I guess they're not all exactly standard size. You know what I mean? Like, couldn't you just get frets in your radius from Fender or Sweetwater or somewhere? Yep, I bet you can. And so look, the rounding down here in like the 20, not so good, right? And I tried to like urethane it, build it back up. We were really successful on the 12th fret, building it back up. It was kind of buzzing here. I rounded it way too much, and so I was getting like a buzz on the 12, no good. And then the strings kind of, not that it happens often, especially on the top, but like on the bottom, right, a couple of times it seemed like if it's too round, it has a tendency to kind of push off the side. So now I built it back up. It's not round, it's square. If anything, it even comes up a little. But I was thinking, oh, scallop it. So anyway, that's better. We don't have to seem to be having that problem. It seems to play well now. It's a player's guitar. Although this 50th anniversary, Fender 50th anniversary should be, is a collector's item. When you modify things like this and that, it can take away from the value. I seen a guy restoring, I think it was a 72 on video yesterday, and first thing he did was get rid of the Seymour Dunk, and it was black, kind of an eyesore. I mean, it's kind of nice. I mean, I think it still plays and sounds the same. I'm not a bridge pickup guy so much. I mean, maybe I'm going to become more one, put on the distortion, but I'm playing a lot of clean, looking for jazz and whatever, just trying to learn. And so I'm not making it scream all too much, but it can scream. I guess that's the point of the double rail. And then, you know, like, I can leave it in this mode doing rhythm, right? And then if I need a little extra boost, boom. And now I got the full bridge pickup. I'm not using pedals. I don't have distortion, right? So I'm just overdriving the amp, or the amp I'm using is a Line 6. So it's modeling. It's got those distortion sounds at low volumes. I don't know. Comment below. But yeah, Strat's looking pretty good. What finish should you choose? I mean, look, if you really want it to be protected, and you got your kids playing it with like pudding on their hands. Maybe you want to seal the wood. They say the boiled linseed oil seals it. It doesn't look like it, right? It feels smooth, does not feel oily. The oil sucked right in. I don't see it resurfacing. It was only one. I guess you got to keep re-oiling it, so that's what I'm going to do. But that's kind of the way to go. If you look at the back, years ago, I bought onto that no finish, right? It looks satiny. I'm not getting great angles on this, but you know, there's still some original finish. There's areas where it wore out. My sweat is bringing out the stain of the grain, right? So it looks heavily reliced, but I've hit this with 5,000 grit sandpaper. It is smooth. It's playable. I got a tiny hand, and it fits it pretty good, although I can't do the thumb over Hendrix stuff too easily. I don't know, you guys. I kind of learned to keep my thumb on the back, and so that's where it stays a lot. And I don't know. We're going to work on our Hendrix to let you know how it goes. For now, hopefully this video is helping you, because a lot of people out there thinking, hey, you know, what kind of finish? I didn't see a lot of videos. I saw Stu Mac. Who's the guy? Dan? He's the man. But he had like some straw. They sell stain. So the stain looked good. Like, I guess it was oil-based, but he was adding, you know, more drops to get the color. And then he ended his video. He didn't show, you know, what he finished it with. So I'm thinking that's probably the best way to go. And it's probably going to end up with no finish and just boiled linseed oil. We got no finish on the back. But for now, boom, we got some poly. And it's funny, like here you could see at the right angle, you could see where I rolled the fretboard. Right, like this guy here, straight edge. This guy here rolled like way too much in that corner. You see it? It's not affecting the playability. It's still okay. And I don't know if I need to fill it in with wood putty. We'll see. I think once we peel the frets off and sand it all down, it'll even out nice. We'll get rid of some of the wood putty, and maybe the neck will even fit better in my hand. Till then, people, well, I wanted to say, you know, I was thinking about building one, or maybe finding a neck that fits like tiny midget hands. Does that exist? Comment down below. Until then, people, until I build my midget hand guitar, we're going to keep working on this Strat, and maybe the next video will be me playing it. Happy Thanksgiving, peace and love. We'll see you on the next one.